Hello everybody, how's it going today? It's Frankie here, and yeah, this is a random video that I decided to make that I've been thinking about making, and it's just to improve on this channel. I just had to have something to upload, and so just doing reviews constantly, doing games as well constantly. So this video is going to be about my ideas of games. I was going to talk about movies, but games is something I had in my mind as well. Excuse me. Games is something I had in my mind as well, and bear that in mind, there might be some gaming ideas that there's probably games like it, I'm just saying, but it's kind of a good idea, kind of a good, thing to talk about, good video to make, so then these people can gather these ideas, and you might have ideas of your own you could put in the comments. So yeah, first idea of a game is an open world game. Now for me, I love open world. Open world, you could just basically do what you want. It's kind of real life, but the open world games, it needs to be more realistic. I'm not saying it has to be exactly the same, but I feel like there should be an open world game where it's more like how we are in reality in terms of like meeting new people, going to work and stuff. I'm talking about similar to like Sims, but I'm talking about like, GTA and Saints Row versions, those type of open world games and stuff like where you start off as like, I don't know, a certain age, and you gotta go to like a, you can start off like a college, you can start off like a university or studying, or you can you'll get different jobs somewhere. It's make it a bit of a game where it's more about real life, but you obviously do action missions and stuff like that. There should be an open world game where it has practically nearly every single kind of situation happening, like an action scene or horror scene, or just basically mix an open world game into one basically. And I'm not quite sure how you do. I'm not quite sure if they made a game at all, if they made it, and if so, how did they do it? Because that just sound like, kind of like complicated. But we need a bit more of a complicated open world game like that, where you start off in your room and you go out and you look for a job to do, and you make money from that job, or you can look for another job. It should be a certain amount of jobs somewhere. And if you want to quit your job, you got to pay a certain amount. And missions can be certain amounts of money too, obviously. Easy missions could be 200. The medium missions could be 500 maybe, and then the hard missions could be possibly 2,000, maybe something like that. And then you make new friends as well, make friends with anybody, and you have them in your contacts, hang out with them, and you get XP for that. Obviously you're gonna get XP in missions too. That'd be quite cool. And the upgrades could be like, probably the amount of damage or something, like your character could do in that missions, or high social skills could be another one too. Stamina has got to be one, health as well, just the basics, but you could add in a few things in there you wouldn't see in other sort of regular open world games basically. I don't know what people could title that, but yeah, anyone could title it anything, I guess. That's kind of a good idea for open world game, more about how we do things in that. Obviously it's going to be trains, that's be obviously. And that's also another thing in open world games, that you can't even get on buses properly. I know the whole point is to hijack and cause mayhem. Doesn't always have to be like that. You could just get on the bus normally, but you have to pay a ticket for that. You have to wait on the bus, and the bus just drives. And even when you get off at a certain stop, that'd be cool. There needs to be more of that, happening. And like it makes it a bit more different, the open world game industry. People will probably pay and buy, play and buy that game even more. It suits this type of game. So yeah, I think that's pretty cool to have a game like that. I'm saying wait for a game like that. And obviously purchase a car, you got to buy a set of car, and if you rob a car by any means, you get police on you and stuff. It's just basics in it. I mean, you can't keep, you got to keep that theme in it to makes it more fun. Obviously cause fights and stuff like that. Obviously in jail, you have to pay a certain bail. If you don't have that certain bail, then you remain in the jail and you got to wait. So basically it could be a simulation of how you've been in jail for, and then stuff like that. And obviously you can make birthdays, you say about your own birthday. It's mad. That's what it should be. If your character has a certain birthday you want to put on, and that date comes on, they can get stuff for free. They get a free weapon. It would be so cool. Imagine, especially Christmas, you can have a game that's snowing at that specific time, and you get rewards for that as well. Let me know if there's a game like that. Let me know what name it is so I can play it. And I'll be saying it worth it in that way. And even if you get injured or whatever, you have to pay, because it depends. If it's an American game, you got to pay. If it's not, if it's in Britain, then no, that's not that feature will happen anyway. So yeah, guns or so, I don't know. More of an American based game, I'll probably suit it more. But yeah, American, even British, British there would be no guns in it, but you could just buy certain melee weapons, which would be cool, I guess. Just you know what I don't want to go on and on. And ideas for story mode game. Now, for me, I was thinking this could be more of an open world, but I don't think so. And for me, I'm not a fan of story mode. I do have 3 story mode games in total, so that's how much of a not so much fun I have with story mode. Because it's just you're fixed on one thing, you're not really doing your own thing. It sort of gets boring because you have to go to the objective. It's just like a fixed story, basically. Kind of boring. But ideas for story mode game, and bear in mind, I don't know how they're going to do this because of storage and data that would take up. But for me, I think there should be a story mode game where you go to every single country in the world and do missions. But they could be different missions compared to one you just did, you know. Be the mission where you got to take someone out, or you know, steal something, or fight some enemies, or defend a certain part of the country, or go out there and attack somebody. You know, just just do regular missions every single part of the country, basically. Even possibly maybe in certain cities that might have missions in certain capital cities. Maybe there probably is games like that, but imagine how much imagine the money's worth you get with that game if you go to every single country around the world and do missions. Just imagine how cool that would be. And I don't know how that would be open world, because that would be a bit too much going on in each country. So I don't think they're going to do it as an open world type of game, that type of sense. But yeah, that'd be a cool. That's a cool idea, actually. To be honest, that's really cool. I don't know what they should. I don't know what you think that the game, the title of that game should be. But that's just brilliant. That's a great idea. I think that's story mode. That's a cool idea. I probably would play that game for the sake of it. Upgrades, don't know how that was going to work. Maybe the usual as most games will be out there, I guess. You can let me know in the comments what the upgrades should be, but that'd be so cool. Yeah, that'd be a cool type of game right there. And damn, I should think of arcade games too, actually. Another, I don't know. An idea for an arcade game. I think the best arcade games have been there so far. I do think they should be making a Time Splitters 4, but there should be a game similar to that. I know there is, but I feel like, oh man, they should have more. They should have at least more bots fighting against each other in arcade games. I think there should be an arcade game where, in story mode, I know they do this, but I feel like they should mix up the story with type of arcade missions. It's kind of like how Unworld Championship did, where they mix up some like arcade type missions. They put some story mode to it. So mix up like that, to be honest. And yeah, and I feel like not me going back in time as such, but they should really they should have more teams. I think they should probably, it's hard to explain what should make the next one. Probably have different missions into it too, where it's kind of, they should mix up Unreal Championship 2 and Time Splitters a little bit, because I think the only thing that Time Splitters was missing was the Unreal action to it. It's kind of different. They should have characters actually have abilities. That's what they should. They should have like more of that, but have characters that have more abilities. So merge those two games up together. Have every character has these abilities, because that's what's needed more in like arcade games. And they should have all the game modes from different. That's what they should. They should have an arcade game where they need to mix. They mix up every single game mode from different arcade games and merge them in together. So Time Splitters, you have the monkey assistant, capture the bag, assault and stuff like that. They should have a game, but mix it with those type of missions and mix in the Unreal Championship 2 type games. I'd love to see how those characters would be from Time Splitters, how they're put in the Unreal Championship 2. I think it'd be so dope though. Just have, that'd be so cool. To have an arcade game like this. It's hard to explain because I've got good arcade games anyway, so technically Time Splitters is the most classic, so I was trying so hard to think of a game there, but I think that's a good example of an arcade game in general. I'm just saying they should just do something a bit more different this time, have it merged together or something, and mix up story modes out together, which would be quite cool, I guess. An idea for another open world game now, but similar. Hit the table there. And another game that's similar to the Fallout games. It's quite apocalyptic, and I'm going to try and make this make sense. So this should be a game where your main character kind of wakes up and there's an apocalypse going on. And this character's like, you got like a smart main character that has a force field around their house and has all the weapons, but they only have to do upgrades in the house specifically. And that'd be a cool apocalyptic game to make, where they go out there and just fight all sorts of enemies. They could fight like zombies, robots, basically similar to Fallout, but you only have one main character. And I don't mind editing characters. I just find it a bit of a hassle just editing them. Just have one fixed character, and you wake up, and I don't know how that person even built a house. I don't really know how that would make sense now, but these producer directors will figure out a game like that, but make it apocalyptic. Every single kind of enemy invading the planet, fighting, and obviously you scavenge, you got to fight other humans. That'd be a cool game. A bit more intense than Fallout, but make a game like that. Please make a game. That'd be so cool. Idea for a horror game. I'm surprised I even mentioned horror game. I mean, I mentioned a game that could have horror in it. This is a perfect horror game idea, right? So basically, every single creepypasta is included in the game. I think there's a game similar to that, which is an RPG game, but a game where it's more like the first person, and you've got to try and figure out a way to beat all the creepypasta. You got that Slenderman, Sandrina. You got Bigfoot. I don't know if I think. I mean, I would say it's creepypasta. You got Siren Head. A game where every single creepypasta you have to defeat in order to progress in each level. How dope would that be? Literally, how scary would that be? Or there could be a horror game where you have to beat them up, but beat them all being virtually impossible. That's a fantastic idea for a game. Get every single creepypasta, and then having to try and defeat each of them. Start off with the easiest creepypasta to beat first, if there is one, and then you work your way up. That's an absolute genius idea. They should come up with ideas like that more often. Literally, I mean, I feel like I might have ideas now for all games, for gaming ideas. I could come up with iOS games, but that's not going to be as fun as coming up with console games. They might come up on PC, these type of games. I mean, who knows? Someone might see one of my gaming ideas and might want to put it up there. You never know. Board games, I don't really see board games on Xbox. I really should be checking properly. But they should be having board games on Xbox anyway. Probably make up a board game, but that could be a different video anyway. Or you see, I've run out of ideas now. I really have. I could think of comedic games, but then they're not really that good, are they, to play? It's gonna be a bit silly after a while and get a bit boring and tame. I could have ideas for fighting games. I don't really play fighting games. I don't really play like Street Fighter and stuff like that. I just feel like there are arcade games, but they get a bit boring after a while just fighting one person. I'm not really into that. Their abilities and powers are cool, but I'll just probably pay for that. It's like Mortal Kombat, but I'm not really into games like that. I used to be now. I'm not really into zombie games. Just zombies, I have to have more enemies in it in order for it to be exciting and fun and even different, bear that in mind. So yeah. I just seem to think that's everything. I mean, I can't come up with other ideas for games, but I might do a part 2, see what else I can come up with. But yeah, this could be just like, there could be a part 2 to this, but I want other ideas. I just can't think of any other ideas. I might come up with more, but you know what? I think that's enough, to be fair. They need to make more comic book style games, or just like extra pry. I don't mind that. I thought it's a shame they didn't do the arcade. I wish I would have known that they didn't have the arcade version, because I wouldn't have got the game otherwise. So they need to make another extra pry, or make a game similar to that with arcade. So then it'll be more better to play, more fun. They would have a fun side of it too, playing with friends and stuff. It'll be more better that way. Make a comic book theme open world game. Why not? It's cool. Everything, it's just cool right there. Well, why not? That'd be fun, wouldn't it? I mean, why not? I haven't completed that game yet. Sports games, you know what? I'm shocked they haven't done this, but they should have a game where they have every single sports on one disc. So you have an option to choose which sport you want. So basically you can have FIFA there. You know, you can have like, basically it's not any of the FIFAs, it's just playing football. So it doesn't have, it's not any of the number of FIFAs. You got baseball, you could play like NFL, you could play like basketball, you could play like, you know, like pool, snooker. They should have a game where it's, I think there might be a game similar to that. I think there might be something like that. But they should have that where they have all the different kind of sports games for you to choose from. Boom. Cool, that's instantly cool. There might be one, if not I'll get it, but one, you have option to choose instead of just getting one type of sports game. Then you have like varieties and options to choose from instead of just, you know, waiting for like the next FIFA game to come out, the next other sports game to come out. I think that would be dope as hell though. I have all every single kind of sports, not just a few but all. So that's a lot of storage I'm putting into these you know, whatever, you know, these designers, whatever you call them, like producer or whatever, these companies. It'll be a lot for them to do, but it'd be definitely be worth it. And you know what, I'm not going to go on and on now. I think that's it for this video. Sorry, I got distracted. My mum was talking about my dinner. Anyways, that's good timing because I was about to end the video. So if you enjoyed the video, please give a like, comment, share, and subscribe, hit the notification below. As I see you in my next video.